Welcome to the Drunk Dietitians podcast, co-hosted by your favorite tipsy registered dietitians, yours truly, Sammy Previtt, co-owner of Dietitians of Palm Valley, and Jenna Warner, owner of Happy Strong Healthy. Us dietitian besties can't stand diet culture bullshit and love keeping it real. Our mission is for all humans to believe that they are made for so much more than chasing a smaller body. We are also here to share with you that food can be fun and pleasurable again. Although we're medical professionals, we are human too. We are not afraid to share our deepest secrets and how years of our lives were taken by diet culture. We started this podcast so no human has to feel alone in their journey towards food freedom. So grab your favorite cocktail and join us for our favorite casual happy hour and expect to laugh, cry, learn, and grow. Cheers.
Welcome back, everybody. We are here. We're off the cuff, and this is a quickie for you today because it is Christmas Day, and we want to wish you all the happiest holidays ever.
Yes. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa. Whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, we're happy to be here with you today, whether you're celebrating with family and friends or if we are your family today. We are so happy to be here with you. Maybe you're taking a walk and escaping your crazy family.
Very real, even if they're on Zoom.
Yeah, that's true. This is just a fucking crazy year. But
it really is.
We have exciting news coming up, but we're not sharing it with you yet.
And we were just joking because back when we launched this podcast, we made t-shirts, tank tops that I'm actually wearing like quite often right now because they're really long. And it said launching 2020, and there was like so many high hopes for this year. And it just makes me laugh. It was like such a happy moment. Nobody could have predicted what 2020 was going to be, but there was definitely silver linings, and we are here to always bring you up, not down. So we're going to focus on the silver linings and the fact that 2020 brought us all of you, all over 100. And at this point, when this is releasing, probably over 130,000 downloads of our podcast since April. Since the pandemic started, like that's when we launched.
It's kind of funny because I didn't obviously when COVID and when everything sparked and started, we were already planning on doing some of this, but it is kind of crazy how therapeutic this platform has been for both myself and Jenna. And I don't even think until this very moment of saying that, I don't even realize that, but we recorded a few episodes before COVID hit, but so many during, and it's been such a great way to connect.
Just to be so honest, I think it's really given both of us the platform to share just how this has affected us too. We come on here and we show up on social media as authentically as we possibly can. And this hasn't been an easy year for us either, but we're trying to just grow and learn. And I think that next week, our episode, you guys will see just how much we've grown and learned. But this space has been just such an instrumental part of my sanity of 2020. Is that even real? Is there sanity? Maybe.
Who knows? Who really knows? But like you said, we're going to keep it positive today. And this is not a very long episode whatsoever. We really just wanted to connect with you. But if you are one of the people that are leaving your home to escape your family or virtual family and just want to go for a walk or just get away and hang out with us, we thought it would be fun and we have not prep this. I literally asked Jenna 30 seconds before
I got nervous.
Before we hit record, and I'm literally opening the podcast app right now on my phone.
It's never taken long.
So that's Jenna's
my
voice there.
episode.
So let's try to kind of take a walk through memory lane and pick a few episodes that if someone has never listened to our podcast before, which ones would you say go listen to that right now?
And you know what's funny? I was going to say which one I don't want you guys to listen to, and it's the first episode because I feel like I look back and I'm like, who is talking? Like, it was so authentic and it was so real. And I remember that day so clearly. I was sitting there. I think I had like a whole bottle of rosé next to me because I didn't even know where I was going to go with that story. And it was like word vomit. But even the way I speak and just the lack of confidence that I hear in my voice, because I have listened to some of it recently, I think there's just been so much growth. So you guys can definitely listen to that, but just come back for more growth afterwards.
Absolutely. It's funny because like the first one, I think it's a cop out to say like, go listen to the first episode. Even if you've already listened to it a long time ago, like that actually could be fun for people. Like go listen to the first one and like, thank God you guys are still here because like if you listen to it, it's like, whoa, like we've both grown so much since that. Because what we recorded that one in like probably
November.
Like,
I think October, November
of 2019. We recorded that. So we had no idea COVID was about to hit us. We had no idea like what a podcast even was. We were just like, we're just gonna like do this.
We just want to share, and we didn't think anyone would listen. So again, thank you for listening.
Thank you for being here. But I'm going to go see all episodes. Oh God, it's so hard.
I know.
To pick like one or two. I mean, and of course, like people are like, oh, you're so cliche, you're saying that. But like literally all of them, like we pick our guests. We are very choosy. I don't know if that's the right word, but we want to create this safe environment and we make sure that every single person we bring on, like we really do love and trust. So,
and like when you go to their page, you'll understand why they're on this podcast and platform.
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very clearly. Yes. Okay, so while you look, I think I'll start with what was the most impactful episode for me. I have two. The How to Stop Splinter Assing as a Health Professional with Fiona Sutherland was the episode that made me get the splinters out of my ass and realize what I want to do in this world.
It was a live therapy session.
It was legitimately like I should have paid her at the end of it. Fiona, if you're listening, I'll write you a check. But because it put the fire under my ass to take the next steps and realize, take ownership and responsibility over the harm that I had done in my past to myself and also in the nutrition space. It's funny because I posted something about bananas yesterday and I had somebody message me and I even went on my stories and said like, if I've recommended you eat a half a banana in the past, like I'm really sorry. I was once a diet culture dietitian and someone messaged me and was like, when you were my dietitian at ShopRite, you told me to eat a half like, I'm so sorry. Like that was like 9 years ago, but like still, like she's right. And she remembers that. And I apologize. Please eat the whole banana. But that was definitely an episode that was really impactful in my career. And I think from there, the second episode for me would be the Evelyn Tribbley episode, because that one where she talked about, I went through phases in this journey and I still am, but where she said, don't waste your breath preaching this message or trying to convince other people to listen when they're not reachable or teachable has changed my life, because I've stopped trying to convince people that I'm right. And I'm just now starting to talk about it from an experience perspective. And that's something that is a game changer.
I love that you chose both of those because they were definitely in my brain. But since you got to choose them,
Sorry.
No, that's good because then I'll say I can't choose the same ones.
Excellent.
So yeah, so that helps me. But I agree wholeheartedly with both of those. I think I'm going to go back and it'll be interesting. I want to listen to these back to back now because the only person that we've brought on the podcast twice since the beginning is Bree Campos, or as most of you know her on Instagram, Body Image with Bree. So she was one of our first 5 releases. We batch released like 5 episodes when we first started. And her episode, I think, is one of our highest listens or downloads, is the top 10 tips for better body image. And what I love so much about Bree and how her work complements intuitive eating is that so many, actually a lot of my clients are in her body grievers group. And then, and we have so many like kind of overlapping. And it's so interesting is that when you're working with an intuitive eating dietitian, I think a lot of people make peace with food and they're like, but I still hate my body, or I'm still uncomfortable in my body, but I have no guilt or shame with food. And so I feel like Bree just like complements the work so much of like really digging deep into the body image piece, where I think people have this notion of, oh, I'll improve my relationship with food and then I'll love my body.
100%.
Because diet culture, says, shrink your body, you'll love your body. So I love that one for sure. I would say both of Bree's episodes.
That second one was so amazing too.
Yeah. And I think to have a therapist who specializes in body image and who has she's just amazing. And I'm so thankful for her and we love her. So I would say Bree is definitely one of my top ones. Oh gosh, this is so hard.
I know.
All of them. I guess I have to pick one more. Another one I'm going to go with, only because so many of my clients like keep giving me positive feedback on this one specifically, is Anna Sweeney's episode number 34, Changing Your Negative Self-Narrative. And for those who don't know, Anna coins herself as, air quotes, like the disabled dietitian. And she shares her story of being diagnosed with MS at a younger age and her hashtag inaccessible views. I literally have goosebumps. I could start crying.
I could cry too.
Right now. Like I literally am. So probably like that was one of the ones that provoked so much emotion for me. And I love Anna dearly. And I think she makes waves in our field. And so those would probably be the two, but it's like, I have so many other ones that I want to talk about right now.
It puts so much into perspective, because I also think we've learned so much on these podcast episodes, like the episode with your cousin, and with James. Oh my God. Like we learned so much about spaces that we just haven't studied in the same way. And to be able to hear that from perspectives just of people who are living it was incredible. And that was so beautiful and amazing, and just so much personal experience.
Yeah. Like we started having we always thought this was going to be about only nutrition, but this year it wasn't. This year a lot happened in the world. And so we dug deep into different conversations of, gender identity, race. We have so many amazing Black dietitians that have come on this podcast. I think the one we laughed the most with was Shayna, episode 39.
Oh my God.
We were laughing the entire time. Maya Feller's episode, we dug deep into like the correlation of like race and diet culture. So there's just
Andy and her food knowledge and all of that amazingness. And she is blown up on social media in so many different ways and is just doing so many things. And Vanessa, we laughed a lot in that episode too.
Yes. So now we're basically naming every episode.
I know. So, and we also said this was going to be like 5 minutes to wish you guys a happy holiday and get you pumped for next week, because next week's episode is going to be super exciting. So make sure you tune back in and listen. As we close out 2020, I think we just both wanted to again say thank you. Thank you for being here. We know like the outro says, which is going to change, but like the outro says, we know there's a lot of pods out there and we appreciate you listening to ours. And also just need to mention that the Spotify like wrapped up like list, seeing so many of you guys post that we were on your top 5 podcast listens of 2020 was epic for me. Like what a moment. My husband was like, you guys are on mine too. I was like, you've never listened to one episode. He's like, well, I really don't listen to podcasts. I was like, okay, thank you.
That's so true though. I didn't even like know what that was when I started seeing it, but just getting tagged on so many of those. And I mean, today is Christmas Day. 1 week from today is New Year's Day. So this is the last time that you will hear our voices in 2020. But we promise that next week we will be coming at you with just fire. I don't even know how to explain it. Yeah, fire. I call it fire. So all of the episodes that we just listed, feel free to go back and listen. I would be very surprised. I'm sure we do have some very like loyal followers who have listened to every single episode, but find an episode you haven't yet listened to. No matter what it is, you will take away a golden nugget of information. So we love you. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Happy 2020 to an end.
Yes. Thank fucking God.
Guys, thank you so much for listening and being here with us. I am virtually cheersing all of you. We absolutely loved sipping on a cocktail with you and sharing as many nutrition tipsies as possible during this episode. We know there are a ton of pods out there, and we are so appreciative of your time that you spent listening to us today. Please be sure to check out the show notes for episode details and all of our guest information. We promise to keep bringing you the best and the most knowledgeable and fun guests we possibly can. Please be sure to subscribe, like, share, and post if you enjoyed our content today. And visit us on Instagram and Facebook at Drunk Dietitians to find out what is up next for us on the pod. We absolutely love you. We appreciate you, and